Hello and welcome or welcome back to the Import Export Hub channel, everybody. Bias Bagdan here, your host for the next couple of minutes. Thanks for joining me, by the way. I hope everybody is doing well, and without begging you to hit those small vanity buttons, allow me to cover United Kingdom's export dynamics for 2023, and basically I will show you UK's top 20 absolute changes, both positive and negative, at a heading level, while towards the end of the video I will cover UK's top 20 headings that had the smallest coefficient of variation for the last 5 years. In other words, I will show you the headings where United Kingdom has or had a competitive advantage. But more on this later. So first things first, guys, I will start with UK largest absolute positive changes in 2023. And as we can see together here, heading 8411, so turbojets and other gas turbines had the largest positive change in 2023, most probably with Rolls-Royce turbojets as the exponent. And we have some, $7.5 billion positive change, 26% increase relative to the previous year, so 2022, and an impressive 6.5% compound annual growth rate for the last 5 years. Then we see motor cars, so heading 8703 with $7.45 billion positive change. And on the third spot, guys, we have the covert heading 9999. Sorry. So we are talking about commodities not elsewhere specified with $2.4 billion positive change and a compound annual growth rate, again, for the last 5 years, around 5%. What else do we have? We see forklift trucks heading 8427 with some $1.2 billion change and a really impressive 13% compound annual growth rate. We see self-propelled bulldozers, angle dozers, and the like with $704 million change. What else do we have? We see heterocyclic compounds heading 2933 with $619 million change. And towards the end of this list, we see, transmission shaft heading 8483 with a positive change of $309 million. Machinery for sorting, screening, and separating follows on the 19th place with a positive change of $280 million, while heading 8517, smartphones basically, and this top 20 list with a positive change of $275 million, a 5.7% change relative to 2022. So, what can I say by looking at these figures? The first thing that comes to mind is the fact that we don't see commodity-related headings, except maybe for heading 9999, of course, but that heading can cover pretty much anything. And this is a good thing. Another thing that I want to point out is the compound annual growth rate for the last 5 years for all the top 20 headings, which looks pretty good overall, even though, of course, we have a couple of negative values. But let's face it, the values are not that high. Another thing to point out is maybe the breadth of the clusters related to chapters 84 and 87, mechanical appliances and vehicles respectively, with some $99 billion cumulative exports for 2023, so quite important. And then the two smaller clusters related to chapters 29 and 90, who relate to organic chemicals and medical instruments. I'm not going to enter into the details regarding the concentration of companies exporting from UK, because this is not the object of the discussion here. Instead, I would like to show you heading 9306, who took off in 2023 because of the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. Anyways, guys, moving now to United Kingdom's largest absolute negative changes. Here we see that the largest contraction was accounted by heading 7108, gold basically, who saw $7.7 billion negative change. Petroleum gas followed with a $5.8 billion contraction, and the podium ends with heading 7106. Silver, who saw a $5.3 billion negative change, and the list continues with, I don't know, electrical energy, platinum, colloidal precious metals, heading 2843, who saw a contraction of $1 billion, give or take. We see electronic integrated circuits heading 8542 with a $748 million contraction. Diamonds follows with $738 million negative change, so they are not forever. What else do we have? We see ferrous waste and scrap, so heading 7204. And the list ends with petroleum oils, polymers of ethylene follows with a contraction of almost $300 million, and the list ends with heading 8479, so machines and mechanical appliances, with a contraction of almost $286 million. And guys, as opposed to the previous sheet, the striking difference here is the number of commodity related headings. Petroleum, electrical energy, and precious metals in particular, where big volatilities are inherent, of course. But oddly enough, if we look at the compound annual growth rate figures, there is no big structural shift, except maybe for diamonds, who has a negative 25.84%. Otherwise, nothing of particular interest, except maybe for heading 9701. So paintings, most probably a contraction in what concerns the UK auction houses activity. I don't have any evidence. I didn't dig up on this subject. It's just an educated guess, let's say, as it might well be a contraction resulting from from offshoring their activities to other jurisdictions. So take this info with a pinch of salt. Moving now, guys, to my last sheet. Bear with me. I have here for you the top 20 headings with the lowest variability in terms of exported value. I know it's not the best thing to do, as I don't know, volumes, weights, or other units of measurement of quantities would have been more helpful. But given the limited resources that I have at disposal, this is the best I could do. It's a good starting point, as export values are not that far away from the quantity, so they still tell us something. So let's see together what the figures tell us. So basically, in terms of the coefficient of variation, the smallest one was registered by heading 8516, so electric, instantaneous, or storage water heaters. Electromagnets followed, so heading 8505, while on the third spot with a coefficient of variation of 0.0209, we have heading 8209, so plates, sticks, and the like. Then chocolate follows with a coefficient of variation of 0.0226 and an export figure for 2023 around $1 billion. Then we see ferrocerium heading 3606. Centrifuges follows. Ice cream and other edible ice is also present with a coefficient of variation of 0.0305. And towards the end of the list, we have, I don't know, wristwatches heading 9102. Peel of citrus fruit or melons preserved is on the 19th spot with a coefficient of variation of 0.0425. And on the 20th spot, we see prepared foods like cornflakes, cereals, and the like, with a coefficient of variation of 0.0426 and some $6 million worth of exports for 2023. So guys, what can I say about these headings? Well, the exported values for 2023 are much lower, with just five headings surpassing the $1 billion threshold. Heading 8421 having the largest value in 2023 from this top 20 list, some $2.9 million. We see a lot of chapters with just one heading, except for chapters 85 and 21 with 4 and 2 headings respectively. What else can I say? Both the compound annual growth rates for the last 5 years and yearly changes are not worrying, so nothing to comment in this respect. And if I could add just one more thing, it will be related to the fact that these headings, even though they are competitive, they are heavily reliant on just one company exporting those products. I'm not going to name names, but if you peel off the bits of information, you'll come to the same conclusion. And let's say that even though United Kingdom has sectors where at the export performance level, small and medium companies support these exports, on the grand scale of things, I'm sorry to say that the multinationals dominate the UK exports far more than in other developed countries. Anyways, it's just an observation. I don't want to make policy recommendations, so I'll stop here with today's video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've liked it. Don't forget to hit those small vanity buttons below this video. And as usual, until next time, keep your business safe. Thanks.